welcome to Story Time with Gina and Zena. I'm Zbex.
I'm Covert Go Gina.
And today we are on episode 5, March of the Machine, Cathartic Reunion by Arsenault Rivera. Make sure you subscribe because we are only halfway through the mom story and we really appreciate your support. Our first video hit over 2,000 views in the first 24 hours, so thank you so much. Gina, let's get into the story.
Our heroes are going to try to go to New Phyrexia and save the day. Kinda. So Chandra's in New Phyrexia, and the invasion tree is really tall. And it has a bunch of platforms, and they're swarming with Phyrexians like ants. And so Chandra and Wrenn are just standing there just gawking at it. They can't even see the top. And Wrenn says, come now, we mustn't take root. And they get moving. So they see survivors in need of assistance and introduce themselves to Melira and Koth.
Koth really sticks out like a sore thumb when Chandra and Wrenn find him, because I did want to note that his armor is plated all of gold because he has the power to melt iron. That's something that he has from his home plane of Mirrodin.
Chandra tries to come in all full of hope and heroism, and Koth just scoffs at them. Like, wow, 2 whole people. That's super going to turn everything around for us. Chandra decides to sound a little bit more confident than she feels. 2 planeswalkers, and we're all you're going to need. We have a plan.
Chandra is the little annoying sidekick that chimes in like, we got this. We're going to win the battle. Yeah.
I'm a grown-up. Koth's like, oh yeah, a plan. Wonderful.
A plan to walk into your own death.
Melira tries to convince him, like, hey, give him a chance. Maybe it's something we didn't try yet. So they explain their big plan: get Wrenn to the tree. Stick her on the tree. Koth is not impressed yet, so Chandra tries name dropping. Maybe you've heard of Teferi? No. Well, it literally says Chandra runs a hand through her hair. He's the strongest time mage who's ever lived, so there's that. And he's a good friend of mine, so he'll help if we ask. Like, direct quote. That's what she says. Despite not really understanding how Wrenn plugging into a tree will make Teferi appear, they decide to help Chandra and Wrenn and hopefully rescue Karn while they're at it. They also have a powerful friend helping them, Urabrask, who isn't on board with Norn's stifling of creativity. So they parted for creative differences, I guess.
They're about to go into this plan, and Koth is like, well, how are you going to get over to fight Norn? And they're like, we're just gonna go up to the front. And Koth is like, this is not Legend of Zelda. You cannot just hide behind a big grass pillar, sneak around the guards, and make it to the castle. But don't worry, I got a friend. Enter Urabrask. But can we really trust Urabrask?
Well, Chandra expects Urabrask to attack them or spout off stuff about Unity at any moment, but instead, he gives them intel about how heavily guarded the tree is, as well as the telepathic security system. And Urabrask also presents a way to get them to the tree, but tells them, your chance of success is almost non-existent. And Chandra snaps, I don't care what some Phyrexian weirdo thinks of me. I came to help. The plan is to fling Chandra and Wrenn to the tree, while the Mirrans provide a distraction elsewhere, knowing many will probably die.
It's like they know Norn is going to be so focused on destroying all of the little Mirran ships in the air that they're just going to use that advantage, use the drag, so to speak, flung through, catapulted ahead. I don't know how I feel about this plan.
Chandra and Wrenn get catapulted to the tree.
Part of the way that they got flung across from Urabrask is Koth also does a Hulk smash and makes the stones fly apart, and the stone they are flying on is from Koth's Hulk smash. I thought that was really cool.
I fist the ground. They are attacked by razor birds, and Chandra and Wrenn fight them off until they land on the branches of the invasion tree. But the tree is quiet. Too quiet. It's by far the biggest tree Wrenn has ever tried to bond with, and she looks a little afraid. Chandra has second thoughts about letting her do this, since it might be the last tree she ever bonds with. Plates shift and form centurions for them to fight. So Chandra covers Wrenn so she can get started on the process, and the centurions get creepy, like the twins in The Shining. And they're like saying stuff in unison, like, "We don't want to hurt you. We only want to welcome you home." And that they welcome Chandra by pinning her to the tree with two spears. Just go bling
Yeah, and it
bling.
happens so fast. She hears the voices and the spears pin her to the trees just under the armpits, only piercing her clothing.
It looks really silly just dangling there. She's adulting so well, like the battle just started and she's already incapacitated, and she can't ask Wrenn for help because Wrenn has her own problem, Nissa. And then the voices speak, "We can perfect you the way we've perfected her. All of your flaws, your weaknesses gone. You will never be lonely again once you become one with us."
So, wait, if I got this straight, were the things that were pinning Chandra up against the tree actually Nissa, and Nissa is talking to her right now?
No, these are spears.
Those were spears. Okay, I thought that was like
I
a Phyrexianized hug. Like, can't hug anymore, but I'm trying.
Chandra recognizes Nissa somehow, in spite of the two extra arms. And to see Nissa like this hurts worse than dying. And Chandra gets speared two more times. Ugh. And so then Nissa starts directly addressing Chandra. "You don't have anything to be afraid of. I no longer feel any pain." And Chandra has to watch as Nissa just starts tearing seven the tree limb from limb until only Wren's small dryad form falls to the floor. Nissa is doing tree violence.
That's some tree on tree violence I was not expecting in this episode.
Chandra, it's not your girlfriend anymore. She's destroying a tree. Chandra has a really hard time responding, and Nissa just keeps on going about how your plans failed. Chandra's always been short sighted. Chandra debates internally whether she should use some of her power to cauterize her wounds or just go nuts, let loose all the energy building inside and just fire up some part of the tree like a sun. She knows she can't take out the whole thing, but like maybe it would help. She's really debating this. And
Chandra's only hope is to breathe. That's her only
yeah,
thought right now to get through this as she's facing Nissa. Okay, breathe?
and Nissa keeps saying triggering things to Chandra, teasing her. "You wanted to be the hero and save me in the multiverse, but only two of you showed up." It's getting harder for Chandra to keep everything in, but she knows she can't take out the whole tree at the same time. And she thinks about like all the Mirans are dying for them right now, and she's just speared to a tree. What is she doing? Nissa reveals Norn knew what they've been planning, and she was there to convince Chandra to join them. And then she has this moment where she traces a metallic claw on Chandra's cheekbone. "You'll never know loneliness again. We would never leave you."
Don't listen to her, Chandra. It's a trip.
Chandra finally begins to understand this is not Nissa. Nissa is gone. That's not my girl.
Nissa's just telling her it's a life without fear. Join Phyrexia. Nissa starts chanting the ridiculous Elesh Norn unity cry, trying to trick Chandra to become Phyrexian. Ah, love. Love is blind.
While they've been talking, Wrenn has been just scooting herself closer to the tree, just scoot, scoot, scoot. Nissa finally notices, and branches just grab Wrenn and hold her in place. And she's like, "Oh, wow, you're still alive. You know, you'll make a great guardian for Realmbreaker." And then Nissa turns to Chandra. "As for you, when you join us, you'll discover what you were truly meant to be." And for just a moment, she gets a little softer and she looks a little bit more like she used to. And she holds out her hand. She says, "Please, come with us. I miss you."
Oh my gosh. This brought tears to my eyes. I literally started crying, but only one tear because
Chandra has this moment. She thinks about a life without fear or pain, or people treating her like a kid, how it would almost be like running away together. And Chandra says, "I miss you too," with tears in her eyes, "but I can't. I'm sorry." And old Nissa is gone immediately and replaced with Rage Nissa. So Chandra ducks Nissa's like slicing arm, just going in and just fire punches a branch, making the ground explode under them. And Chandra and Nissa fall, a big fall, leaving Wrenn alone, kind of clinging to the tree precariously.
Yeah, it's crazy how Nissa was able to make her voice go back to regular and then suddenly it was just machine-like again.
And that's the story. We have a cliffhanger. We don't know if Wren's able to do anything right now, but Chandra's trying to buy her time.
But we did see that Wrenn is on their way to grab onto the tree. It's rodeo time, everyone. Get her done.
Well, she's on the rebound now. Like, Seven got destroyed. It's so sad.
On the prowl for a new tree.
Like, hey there, good looking.
This story was kind of short. Did you have a favorite quote or moment from it, Gina?
Oh, obviously. My favorite has to be Chandra. Like, maybe you've heard of Teferi. He's just like, the strongest time mage who's ever lived. And he's like a super good friend of mine. So how about you? What was your favorite part?
I really like how they describe the massiveness of the Realm Breaker, and it kind of reminds me of Jack and the Giant Beanstalk. This tree is so massive. This invasion tree is going through planes, connecting them all together, and that gave me a really good visual of just how ginormous this whole setting is.
And there were 3 very good images for this story. Which one was your favorite?
I am loving, just because I like more of a heroic moment than a sad moment, I'm going to have to go with my favorite photo as the one with Chandra and Wrenn posing at the beginning, arm in arm. Yes.
Oh, I like to imagine after they introduce themselves to Koth and he's like, oh, just 2 of you. I bet that they struck the pose again and they're like, we're the only 2 you're going to need.
Power pose. Power twins.
It's all about confidence, Koth. You just have to power pose and then you can go into battle.
What was your favorite photo from this story?
I think I have to go with the one that I first saw on Twitter before I saw the story of Nissa and Chandra seeing Nissa, because you can't see Chandra's face, so you're kind of left with your own imagination as to the feelings on her face. And Nissa's just doing like her arms outstretched, like, I've got 2 extra arms now, all the better to hug you with, my dear. Come, let's hug it out.
It's no wonder I mistaken them, the spears, for arms. They have quite a similar look to them. I couldn't choose that one because it was too creepy, but it's so good. Ah.
Well, we can both agree that both pictures are very good.
Yes. Now on to episode 6.